You want to know a secret? Nobody tells you the truth because the truth doesn't sell. It doesn't get you likes, it doesn't get you a promotion, it doesn't get you invited back. So they lie to you nice and slow every single day until you can't tell the lie from your own reflection. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna do something worse. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's wrong with you and why you're gonna thank me for it. Everybody's got a plan. Get the job, get the house, get the girl, get the applause. Everybody's got a plan until life sits them down and shows them what it actually thinks of their plan. You ever notice that the ones who scream the loudest about control are the ones one bad Tuesday away from falling apart? I used to have a plan too. Then I met reality, and reality doesn't negotiate. Here's the first truth nobody wants stitched onto a pillow. You are not in control. You never were. The sooner you stop pretending you're steering this thing, the sooner you stop braking every time the wheel gets ripped out of your hands. That's not despair. That's freedom. A man who's not scared of losing control is a man nothing can touch. Let's talk about pain for a second. Everybody wants to skip that chapter. They want the highlight reel, the after picture, the speech at the end. Nobody wants the part where you're on the floor and nobody's coming. But that part that's the part that builds you. I didn't become who I am on my best day. I became who I am on the worst one. When everything I thought I was got stripped down to nothing, and I had to look at what was left. Most people never find out what's left because they never lose enough to see it. Society loves rules. Rules for how to grieve, rules for how to smile, rules for how much anger is acceptable before you become the villain of the story. You know what I learned. The rules aren't there to protect you. They're there to keep you predictable. Predictable people are easy to sell to easy to manage, easy to forget. The moment you stop performing for the room is the moment the room stops owning you. That scares people. It should. You ever notice how the ones who smile the most are usually carrying the most? They learned early that nobody actually wants your pain. They just want your performance of being fine. So they hand you a mask and call it maturity. I stopped wearing mine, not because I got brave, because I got tired. There's a difference between healing and just getting exhausted enough to stop hiding. Don't confuse the two. Let me tell you about chaos for a second, since everybody thinks they know what that word means. Chaos isn't destruction. Chaos is honesty without a filter. It's what happens when a system built on lies finally meets something it can't buy off, can't flatter, can't threaten. People call that madness. I call it the first sane thing that's happened in the room all day. Here's a truth that'll cost you some friends. Most people don't want you to heal. They want you predictable. Your pain was convenient for them. Your smallness was comfortable. The day you decide to actually become something is the day half the room quietly turns on you. That's not paranoia. That's just what happens when you stop being useful to people who needed you small. Let them go. A room that only loved the weak version of you was never on your side to begin with. You know what's funny? People spend their whole life terrified of the fall, terrified of failing, terrified of being laughed at, terrified of hitting the ground. But the fall isn't the tragedy. Staying frozen at the top, out of fear of falling. That's the tragedy. That's the wasted life. The man who's already hit the ground has nothing left to fear from gravity. I'm not gonna stand here and tell you it gets easier. It doesn't. What changes is you. Pain stops being the enemy and starts being the proof. Proof you're still standing, proof you're still fighting. Proof you didn't let the thing that should have killed you decide how your story ends. Scars aren't damage. Scars are receipts. They're proof you were there and you survived it. Wear them. So here's the last thing I'll leave you with. Stop waiting for the version of you that has it all figured out. That version doesn't exist. Nobody's coming to save you with clarity. You build it the same way I did. One broken night at a time, one truth you stopped running from at a time. The world doesn't need another person performing happiness. It needs people who stopped lying to themselves. Be one of them. Why so serious? Life already broke you once. Stop being scared of the second time.